you're gonna be hot, you're gonna be tired, you're gonna be miserable, wishing you didn't come here. My job is to give you the tools and teach you that you have the willpower to survive this. We train the best for the worst, and that's it.
So we are out here today starting off the field phase of training for SERE West, where the students are going to learn how to survive and evade through this arid high desert terrain. The purpose of this training, when you boil it down, is we're teaching our students to survive and return with honor from any isolating incident.
It's teaching the basics, not just on hiding, but navigation, how to procure water, how to procure food.
It tastes so good, you should try it.
Does it?
So we train in this area for one reason, because it's very similar to a lot of the areas that we are deploying to. It's also one of the hardest environments that you can live in. So if you can survive here, you can survive almost anywhere.
But we can carry it back with us. We'll wash it off when we get down there and we'll eat it.
There's plenty of physical barriers, obviously, when you're in a survival situation. But the hardest ones they're mental. You have to have the will to survive. If you're trained to do this, it's not that hard. But going through the training to learn it, developing that grit, that inner strength, to want to get through it, that's the hard part.
You know, there's a chance that this could happen. And you know, I don't want it to happen. I don't think anybody I know wants it to happen, but it's a possibility that can happen, and there's no other better way to do it.
All right, listen up.
These men and women, when they join the service, they deploy and go down range. They can be put behind enemy lines, in harm's way, and what we aim to do is teach them everything we can on survival skills, so if they do become isolated or captured, they can find a way to return with honor.
I spent 25 years in the Army. I got a duty, I got soldiers to take care of. So 5 days before I retired, I turned my company over, I cleared the Army and got out of the Army. 5 days. It was good to be out. I mean, I missed them soldiers. The day I was gone, the minute I handed off that guide on to another guy, I missed those soldiers. I am a SERE instructor for the United States Army. I teach survival, basically, all basic primitive survival skills. There was a 13-day break really between when I retired as a first sergeant to working out here. I didn't have that long lapse time. I didn't stop, you know, sit at home and have no job. So it was 13 days. It was pretty simple. I knew guys that worked here already, but I didn't look back and go, woe is me. I had a plan. My plan was to work, and I knew it might take up to a year to work where I wanted to go, but I worked. The bottom line is our job is to take an oath, defend the Constitution of the United States of America, and that's what we do.
I first heard about SERE when I wanted to join the Air Force, and I was going to commission. I didn't really like the jobs that were offered to me, so I went to an enlisted recruiter and told him that I wanted to do something outdoors, and he listed SERE to me, and I said that's what I was going to do. Training definitely surprised me. It wasn't what I expected. It was physically demanding. I thought it was going to be more physical than mental, but it turned out to be more mental than physical overall. You have to have a certain level of grit and a certain level of stubbornness and a little bit of crazy to go through what we went through. So absolutely, mental fortitude was what was needed to go through training. And I had people on my team, it was just as difficult for them as it was for me. I had a vision of when I first came in that this is what I wanted to do, and having that vision in my head of seeing who I was going to be and who I was going to become as a person, that helped me persevere through training, and also, like I said earlier, just being stubborn and having that grit just to push through. But also, that team dynamic helped me persevere. I could not have done what I did, or I wouldn't be sitting here today if it wasn't for my teammates that I went through with. Overall, I think the importance of being a SERE specialist is to be the best advocate you can be for an isolated person. That's the main goal, is to make sure that they are able to come home and return with honor.
The course that they're going through right now is a basic jungle survival course. We give them the basic tools and education they need to survive in a jungle environment. Fifth Anglical is the first class we're putting through in a long time. We're going to get a lot of feedback from them, and we're going to improve the course as much as we can. We hit the basics: fire, water, shelter, survival navigations, and those are all the things that go into this basic course.
We came out here basically to refresh those skills in those areas because it's been a while since we've done it. We came out here with poncho, canteen, K-bar, and a canteen cup, and plastic bags. That was basically the individual issue, plus our little flint and magnesium block. That was all we had. Everything else we had to acquire on the beach or in the woods.
A lot of the comforts of life are gone. There's no lighter fluid, there's no gasoline, there's no propellants at all. It's simply with the spark and the K-bar. Not only do they have to worry about getting a fire started and getting wood done and getting a good shelter site, but they have to start looking for food. We're trying to implement a chicken because that's the most, the animal that's kept up in most of these other countries around the world. It's nothing fancy. They're ripping chickens' heads off. They're ripping down the feathers and the skin. They're learning how to clean the chicken and then cook it over an open fire. It's nothing high speed. It's not at a recon level or a special forces level. Anyone can survive. You have the knowledge in you. We just help you fine-tune it.
Coast Guardsmen stationed in units around southeast Alaska participated in a 5-day cold weather survival training course. 24 Coast Guardsmen became students during the in-depth and real-life situations which were taught by the instructors. They were taught methods of swimming in 35-degree waters and tactics for surviving in densely wooded areas. With teamwork stressed throughout the class, the 24 students divided into 4 teams of 6.
Class started out, we were in the classroom sessions for 2 days. Monday they were teaching us about fire and like how to build fire, what the importance of fire is. They started a little bit on like hypothermia and first aid.
Basically we just took a couple timbers that we found that fell, tried to brace them up as best we could up against this tree over here that had fell a long time ago, I guess. And took a whole bunch of line, lashed it together best we could, keep it from falling. We did that on all four sides. Spruce tip threw on top of it, trying to keep most of the water out, insulation and stuff. And then we got the plastic inside of it also to waterproof it, making sure there's no water, there's not that much water getting through, so we could stay a little bit warmer.
I think the most important part to take from this is basically how to work as a team whenever you're stranded out in the middle of nowhere with other people. It's basically all about teamwork in these situations, and if everyone's all panicky and just doesn't know what to do at all, then your chances of survival go way down. But when everyone's properly trained and knows what they're doing and is able to establish that teamwork frame, then shoot, the sky's the limit with something like this.
The students worked as a team to swim 200 yards across Auk Bay, Alaska, as well as surviving 2 nights in a remotely wooded area. They were only allowed to bring what they could fit in a small Ziploc bag. The training the Coast Guardsmen received was critical for each member so that they better understand the challenging conditions of working in remote areas throughout southeast Alaska. The training received gave them perspective on being rescued and rescuing survivors in Alaska's harsh terrain and weather conditions.
All the figure movements in the water, is it basically just like